Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool around here. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you all had an incredible weekend. I had some fun. I showed Star Wars and Rogue One to my 7-year-old daughter, and she got to experience that with me, which was surreal and something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. She sat right here, and she was amazed by and had a billion questions and wanted to know everything. Is Darth Vader in this? When's Darth Vader going to be Princess Leia and Princess? It's like, just calm down. You're going to get it all. Relax. We had an amazing time and played some Star Wars actually on the GameCube. I put it on my Instagram there. I played Star Wars Rogue Leader on that HDMI-equipped GameCube, that HD... I forget the name of the company. I put it on my Instagram. They gave me one of these things, and I wanted to check it out and test it out a little bit more. And it was just phenomenal. So I had a very big Star Wars-y weekend, which was great. But I also have got some stuff to review for you today. We're going to get to that in a little bit. We're going to have some discussion about all the Disney live-action remakes of their animated classics, because that is the big thing. Lion King is out this week. But first, we're going to get started with your rundown, and we're dedicating this one to D-Dub, who says simply, "This channel rules." And I also want to dedicate this to my buddy John Drake, who just recently left PlayStation after a good number of years working on the PS4 stuff there, and now he is a VP of partnerships and licensing and stuff with Disney in the video game division. He's going to be working on some very good things, so congratulations to him. I'm very excited about that. But let's get started with your rundown. Daniel Craig is still James Bond for now, but that doesn't mean we won't be seeing a new 007. Reports have surfaced that Captain Marvel co-star Lashana Lynch will be playing a new agent who takes over the 007 number in the latest movie. Lynch was first announced as part of the cast several months ago, but we didn't know that her character would be taking over the iconic 007 number until now. It's unclear if she'll be keeping the number at the end of the movie, and given that Daniel Craig is expected to retire from the role of James Bond after this, the whole series might soon be getting a reboot with a completely new actor, with completely new actors in all the roles. We'll have to wait for more intel to come in. The next Bond movie is currently filming, and it hits theaters in February. And that, my friends, is a sign of narrative progress and the world changing, and us getting shaken, not stirred by all kinds of different ideas in these big franchises, and I freaking love it. I love being surprised. I love when content creators understand that the best way to rejuvenate their properties that have had big long runs with a certain type of person and a certain type of expectation around these characters and these roles, it's great to shake it up a little bit, and I totally applaud this. I would be totally fine if 007 going forward is a female. Maybe it's not James Bond, or maybe it's a different name. But I think this is really exciting. I wish I didn't know this, though. It really pissed me off that I started to see this bit of news, and now we've reported on it, so I apologize. But I started to see this news in my feeds, and I use the Flipboard app on my iPhone, so when I'm flipping through news, sometimes things pop up that I don't always want to see. Sometimes it's like political news, but sometimes it's like, what? They're making a woman 007 in the next James Bond movie? How cool is that? I did not want to know that, but I'm very excited to see this, and I hope that they do this right, because Casino Royale is my favorite James Bond movie, and I really want them to let Daniel Craig kind of transition off of this character in the best way possible. I want it to be an incredible film, and my fingers are crossed. Now, the Division games are getting a movie, and that might not be the franchise's only excursion into narrative-driven territory. The game's creative director, Julian Garrity, has publicly asked fans if they'd like to see a single-player, narrative-driven Division spin-off game set in the same post-apocalyptic world as the main online multiplayer games. The idea actually comes from another developer, Lego game maker Tim Spencer, who posed the question on Twitter, with Garrity retweeting it to his followers. This indicates that Ubisoft has at least thought about the idea of more narrative-driven experiences in the Division world, so there's no telling what might happen. I want this. I want this very badly. I think that it's incredibly important for developers of these massive properties, which are all about games as service and keeping a huge audience engaged with lots and lots of content, to also understand that there's a lot of attention that you can pay to just giving us a chance to be a character and just be a part of a section of this universe that they've crafted. I want this not only for The Division, I want this for Destiny, and I think that would honestly be the salvation for Anthem if Electronic Arts let BioWare just split off for a while and let them just make a single-player campaign to get us back into the world and flesh it out. I think they should have done that from the beginning, and honestly, I believe that that's what Avengers is doing. I think that's what Crystal Dynamics is working on. They're going to probably have some pretty cool component where they're letting players. I don't know why this stopped. Doesn't matter. I'll keep going. Okay. I don't know why they're letting. I don't know why they're freak. I don't know why they're letting people freak out about the fact that there's going to be multiplayer attached to a big single-player component. I think it's very cool and it's a good strategy for Crystal D, and it honestly sets up the game to be. They try to make these games something for everyone, except single-player. Fans, when they jump into these massive games, they feel a little bit left behind. I love Destiny 2 and I love The Division 2, and it's very fun to jump in there for a little while, but I don't have the time to keep up with a group of friends and play these things for hours and hours and hours and hours. I'm more of a single-player player, partially because of my job, because I got to review all of these things, and I would think it would be incredible to just go, and I do play these games on my own, but it would be great to play in this world and have something really fleshed out. So I really hope that The Division 2 does this. Now, Disney isn't sparing any Imperial credits on their new Star Wars series. The new show, The Mandalorian, reportedly costs $15 million per episode. This makes it tied for most expensive show of all time with HBO's Game of Thrones, which also costs $15 million per episode in its final season. With The Mandalorian clocking in at 8 episodes, this means the entire first season costs around $120 million, which is actually less than Disney has been spending to produce new Star Wars movies. The show is being made exclusively for their new Disney Plus streaming service, which launches this fall. Showrunner Jon Favreau has already begun writing a second season, and that is the way to do it. That's how you get people engaged, and you don't let anybody down, and you come off of the expectations of the big feature films out there. You pay your $5 or $10 a month in subscription services, and you have a movie every week or a whole season of episodic movies that you can jump into. I'm so excited for The Mandalorian. It's not that the budget makes the quality, but when you see a company like Disney saying, look, we need to put this content out there, and it needs to sort of be at that same quality level as what we have in the theaters, that's a huge investment, not just financially, but I think conceptually, just in terms of appreciating what the imagination of these writers and these effects makers can bring to something like this. It's interesting that the show's going to cost this much, though, because the way it's spec'd out and the early sort of teaser material that we've seen, it hasn't really shown itself to be this big sort of spacefaring crazy adventure. But maybe that's where we're going. Maybe this sort of old west in the galaxy far, far away thing is just kind of the beginning, and the adventure is going to sprawl and take us to all kinds of new environments. I'm so psyched, man. I cannot wait for this. And I did see that Jon Favreau interview where he mentioned that he's already working on season 2, so I think they built something pretty cool. I'm getting fired up for Star Wars. I don't know, I've already started talking about Star Wars quite a bit in this episode. If you can't tell, I am looking forward to The Rise of Skywalker, and I can't wait for The Mandalorian. Now, it looks like Cyberpunk 2077 may not be giving players as much freedom as they might have thought. Developer CD Projekt Red has revealed that players will not be able to kill story-centric characters whenever you want. This puts the game in contrast to other open-ended titles like Fallout and Deus Ex, where you can end the life of pretty much any character within the story and face the consequences later. So it sounds like the story in Cyberpunk will be a little bit more rigid. The good news is that you'll still be able to cause mayhem and slay random NPC characters, those poor NPC characters who aren't associated with the story, Grand Theft Auto style, or be a saint and act friendly to everyone. Cyberpunk 2077 lands in April, and I think it's going to be very hard to be friendly to everyone in Cyberpunk 2077. Everybody looks kind of like they're a scumbag. It's a hive of scum and villainy in Cyberpunk 2077. It looks very violent, very dangerous, and ridiculously fun. And it looks like state of the art, man. From the two demos that I've had, I've just come away completely blown away. I'm so fired up for this. I saw the box for Cyberpunk 2077 listed on Amazon, I think, because, you know, like you and everybody else on planet Earth, we are forced to look at all the Prime deals today. And I saw the box for Cyberpunk, and it was a PlayStation 4 box, and I'm a bit incredulous. I cannot believe that a game like that is going to be on a console that's been around as long as the PlayStation 4. It feels so like the next gen, and I think that's what we're going to hear very early in 2020 is that, yeah, it's coming out for PS4, but have you seen the PS5 version? Have you seen the Project Scarlet version? Have you seen it with all the ray tracing? I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.